Okay, MLB Pipeline just updated their top 30 Yankees prospects today. So I'm going to be just giving my instant reaction to this. I have not seen it. I just opened up the site. So I haven't seen who they have ranked and what they've been saying about players. So my first reactions, let's go. Okay, number 1, Anthony Volpe. This should be absolutely no shock to anyone. He's number 1. See what they say about him. They give him a 60 hit, 60 power, 55 run, 50 arm, 50 field for a 60 overall. This is on the 20 to 80 scale, where 50 is league average for something, and 80 is like the best possible, like Aaron Judge's power. And a 60 overall grade is like an all-star player. So really, really impressive there. Again, Volpe's an absolute beast. Like, he annihilated the baseball in 2021. He's just an absolute beast. No complaints there with Anthony Volpe. Happy they have him ranked number 1. Then Oswald Peraza. Again, another really good player. And also these grades are future grades, not current. So if you see like a 17-year-old that has a 60 power, that's what they expect this player to have in the future, not what they have at the current. Next, Oswald Peraza, another really good player. 55 hit, 50 power, 60 run, 60 arm, 60 field, 55 overall. So 55 overall is kind of like, a good bit above average. Maybe all-star, could sneak in there. Probably not. But still, a really, really good prospect in Peraza. Hit pretty well last year in all levels in the minors. Glove first guy. He's almost ready to play in the majors. So far, we're good with this. So far, we're good. Volpe, Peraza, nice to see. We got Jason Dominguez. He had a lot of hype going into his rookie season. It was pretty good. They still give him a lot of power. He slowed down, though. He used to have like a 70 grade run, 70 grade power, but still really good. 5-tool athlete, switch hitter. See what they say. Yeah, they're just saying like he still has a lot. He's still very talented, but he's not this crazy athlete that they once saw. Dominguez at 3rd, I agree with. Next, Austin Wells. Austin was at 4. He was on the top 100 too for their overall ranking. I kind of disagree. 55 hit, 55 power, so a very solid bat. 45 run, 40 arm, 40 field, 55 overall. I just disagree. He can't stay at catcher. He's going to have to move to left field. The bat's good. But he's going to be a horrible fielder in left with a good bat. I kind of disagree here. I think that Sweeney should be above him, who is number 5 here, Trey Sweeney, who I'm big on. I did a whole video about why I think Trey Sweeney is an absolute beast. So watch that if you haven't. But I'm happy they have him ranked 5 here. I think he should have been 4, though. I really do. 60 hit, 50 power, 45 run, 55 arm, 45 field, 50 overall. I would have given him a 55. So I think his power is more like 55. And I think he's going to have to be moved to third base. He doesn't seem like he can stick at shortstop. But he's really good. I really like Sweeney. I would have had him higher. Next, Ken Waldachuk. A little bit of a shock here. I mean, where's Luis Hill? Kind of shocked there, He was really good for us last year, but Waldachuk, 65 fastball, so really good. Decent curveball, pretty good slider, good changeup, good control. Yeah, another guy I'm a little shocked isn't a 55 with Waldachuk. His velocity increased a lot. His stats last season were very good, 3.03 ERA. Got a lot of strikeouts. 163 in 110 innings pitched. Really impressive there. Then Schmidt. Clark Schmidt at number 7. This is the first major disagreement. Schmidt is not that good. They give him a 55 fastball. Okay, I could see that maybe. 60 curve, 55 slider, 55 change. 50 control? No, his control's not a 50. It's like a 45. He walks so many batters. And when he pitched last year, his RPM, rotations per minute, were down by like 300. So he was definitely using spider tack. His curveball lost a lot of movement. It's pretty much an average pitch now. I disagree here. I think Schmidt should be a lot lower. This is probably where Luis Hill should have gone. Hayden Lesneski, another really, really good pitcher here. 60 fastball, 60 slider, 50 change, 55 control, 50 overall. Let's see what they say about him. Good uptick in velocity. Yeah, I threw like 98 a little last year. Decent slider there. Just needs to work on getting another pitch. Only 3 pitches there. If he can develop a cutter, though, and maybe a curveball, it can be really devastating. Another guy with good statistical performance last year. 151 strikeouts in 130 innings, 3.25 ERA. I think he got up to AAA last year. We could be seeing him this year. Then Juendus Gomez, another guy I'm shocked about. So he went down with Tommy John surgery like 2 years ago. Haven't really seen him pitch since. I'm disagreeing with them on Schmidt and Gomez here a lot. I think they're, maybe the 15-20 range, not the top 10. 60 fastball, 55 curve, 60 slider, 50 change, 50 control, 50 overall. Yeah, but we haven't seen him pitch because he got Tommy John surgery. He's just been out with injuries. We haven't seen this guy pitch. He has a lot of upside, but I'm not that Stockton guy who we don't know if he can really throw as hard as he once did. Another pick I disagree with. The number 10, Luis Hill. 70 fastball, 55 slider, 50 change, 40 control, 50 overall. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I just think he's better than Schmidt and Gomez. I could see Walder and Lesneski being better than him, though, because I think he's going to have to be moved to the bullpen. He's just fastball slider. Doesn't have good control. But I think Lesneski deserves to be above him, but Gomez and Schmidt, they deserve to be below. They should be. And Everson Pereira at 11. Outside the top 10. Really? Another shocker. 50 hit, 55 power, 55 run, 55 arm, 55 field, 50 overall. 4 of those 5 are at 55 grades. How do you give him that? And his stats were fantastic. 49 games, this guy annihilated baseballs. 398 on base percentage, 686 slugging, hit 20 home runs. Like, he annihilated baseballs. He struck out a little too much, but of a fast guy who can play center field, has the potential for a really good bat. I think this is a very low, very, very low ranking for Everson. Medina. Yeah, Medina is kind of like Gil in the sense of a lot of movement, but bad control. 75 fastball, so one of the best fastballs you can imagine. 60 curve, 55 change, 40 control. He's pretty much Luis Hill with better pitches and less control. So, I think that's a decent ranking at number 12. I would have him somewhere around there. Then, Roderick Aries. I feel like they're a little low here. 55 hit, 50 power, 60 run, 70 arm, 60 field, 50 overall. I know he's 17 years old, but when you give a guy an above-average bat and then an elite glove, I feel like you have to have him a little higher. I think he has a lot more upside than guys like Schmidt and Gomez. He's a lot more upside to the point where his ceiling is really high. His peak potential. His floor is much lower than these guys' floor because he hasn't played in the minors yet, but I feel like this is another really low one. Arias, you gotta put higher, especially when you're saying that he is this good defensively and has a good bat. Feels low. And then another one who feels low, Oswald Cabrera. He hit really well last year. He's a switch hitting, infielder. So he plays short, second, third. He had a really good season. 330 on base percentage, 533 slugging. It's an OPS 860, which is really good from a switch hitter. Whoops. Didn't mean to exit out of there. Plus, you include the fact that they give him a 55 field, 55 arm, so he can play like anywhere. How do you give him a 45 overall? I think he's a 50, but this feels low again. And Selvage, don't know too much about him, so I'm not going to comment that much. Rest of the list, I won't be going like one by one, just giving my general thoughts. Vargas, again, 20-year-old. He's interesting. He's kind of like Roderick Aries, in the sense he has a really good glove, good arm, good speed, switch hitter. But his just bat hasn't been proven. Interesting. I mean, if he gains some muscle, though, he could be really intriguing. Then Justin Lange, the guy that we got in the Luke Voigt trade. 65 fastball, 55 slider, 45 change, 40 control, 40 overall. Yeah, I see that. That kind of just sounds like a relief pitcher. But he's an interesting guy. We have a lot of power arms, so a lot to work with there. Dang, Josh Bro's pretty low here. But that's what you expect me of. A 20 grade run. Gosh, and 40 hit. Yeah, that's not cutting it. And, Davey Garcia. He was like our number one prospect a little while ago. Sad to see. Just average fastball, average curveball, decent slider, horrible change there, bad control. Yeah, I think Davey could still work it out. Just needs to change his delivery again, get it back to normal. But sad to see our former number one prospect fall this far. Then Florial, another guy who was really high. Davey was number one a little while ago. Like, good fielding, good arm, runs well, good power, just can't get the bat on the ball. Sad to see there. So, this list, it's alright. And people need to understand this. The lists that they put out are not always the best things. They aren't always accurate. For instance, when Trey Sweeney was ranked 55 on their list, he was picked by the Yankees with their 20th overall pick. People were saying, "Oh, this is horrible. Sweeney's bad." MLB Pipeline can be off on things, and this kind of proves it with them ranking Schmidt so highly, and guys like Gomez. They can have errors. I can have errors too. We all have our own opinion here, but I think they're a little bit wrong on this Yankee list. Not the best I've seen.